Hi everyone, my name is Stefan, I'm a pulmonologist. In this video I'm just going to describe how to use the Fostair MDI. So the Fostair inhaler, which is the normal Fostair, let's just call it. In a previous video I did discuss about the Fostair NextHaler, which is the same medication but in a different device. So again, not endorsing these inhalers. You are free to choose another inhaler, and there are many other inhalers that do the same thing out there. But these videos, they're here just to try to give you an idea which device you might like better and to have a more informed conversation with your doctor, because your doctor can really prescribe many things to you. But it depends if you can use it or not. With inhalers, if you can't use it, if you find it awkward, you won't be able to get enough benefit. You won't be able to get the medication where it's needed, where it's deep in your lungs. So that being said, this is the Fostair inhaler. Sometimes it's called Fostair, depending on where you are in the world. But basically, this looks like a Ventolin inhaler. It's very, very similar. Now, do I have a Ventolin inhaler here? I don't have one, but the blue inhaler, the blue Ventolin reliever inhaler. Everyone knows that one. So that one is an inhaler that you shake and you produce a puff, and you try to inhale that puff when you have an asthma attack or when your breathing's not good because of respiratory disease. Now, Fostair mimics that inhaler, but it is a controller device. So it does contain two medications inside, a corticosteroid, which acts as an anti-inflammatory drug, and a long-acting bronchodilator, or a medication that keeps your airways open for longer, generally about 12 hours. So Fostair needs to be administered twice daily. However, this may depend. If your asthma is very well controlled, maybe your doctor will reduce the dose. So it depends on the situation. Talk to your doctor about dosing, because that's very important to have a good conversation with your doctor about how to take the medication, when to take it, if you're taking it correctly. Now, that being said, let me just work through the anatomy of this inhaler. So basically, it's a pink one. It has a little lid here that covers a mouthpiece through which you will inhale the medication. Then it has a pressurized container that contains the medication. Don't worry, this one doesn't have any active medication inside. It's a demonstrator device, that's why I'm using it. It's not the cleanest, but that's just because I'm using it only for demonstration for myself. Right, so that being said, this inhaler works by holding it like this. So it has sort of a place to put your finger at the bottom and one to place fingers at the top of the container. Once you press on it, you will see that there's a puff being released. I hope you saw that. So it just went in front of the camera. Let me do one more. Right, there you go. So this is the puff that you're trying to inhale. Now, the only thing with these MDI, these meter dose inhaler, these puffers, let's say puffer inhalers, is the fact that you need to really synchronize your breathing with the moment when you press on the device. That is important because for these devices, you are taking them in a very specific way. And I'll demonstrate, don't worry, it's easy, but it takes a little bit of practice. So this is something that you may already know how to do very well, but some people really struggle. So please bear with me while I explain everything. Like I said, we need to try to synchronize our breathing. So first things first, before you start taking this inhaler, is you need to make sure that it works, right? So you don't need to shake it, you don't need to do anything, but you need to make sure that it has some medication inside, right? So basically you would breathe out, you empty your lungs, you put the inhaler in your mouth at that stage with your lungs being empty of air. And as you're starting to breathe in, that's when you press on the inhaler and trigger it, and you continue breathing in slowly and deeply, slow and deep. Please remember this one. This is different to dry powder inhalers that have a powder in which you need to breathe in forcefully and deeply. This is slow and deep. So I'm going to show you now how to do that. So I'll breathe out and then I'll do what I just said. And at the end, you should hold your breath for 10 seconds or as long as you find comfortable. Ideally, try to hold it for 10 seconds if you can, because that helps the medication penetrate deeper into the lungs. So, like I said, I will demonstrate it again. So we'll breathe out and then slow and deep breath as I'm triggering the inhaler. So watch carefully. and slowly release. Try to hold it for 10 seconds. So basically what you're trying to do is catch this puff as you're breathing in, right? So that's what you need to focus on, slow and deep. And it can be a bit tricky at the beginning, but don't worry. Just keep practicing. I don't think you can make any mistakes if you just keep practicing. I don't think you will take too much of the medication if you need at the beginning to take a couple of puffs more. But try to do this with your doctor present, I would say. Not because of safety, but because it's always useful to have your doctor seeing how you're taking the medication. So if you can bring this with you to each consultation, and maybe during the consultation, just take a minute to show your doctor how you're taking the medication at their office. I think that's the best way because they can correct any issues with your technique. Now, common technique problems with these puffers, let's say, are, and I've seen these in practice, so don't be surprised, but some people make a lot of mistakes. So for example, one of them is to have a shallow breath. So something like, that didn't hit the right spot, right? So basically, it ends up at the back of your throat if you're not emptying your lungs and slowly and deeply breathing in. So that's not great. The other thing would be to just basically use it as a puffer. I've seen that in practice. That's because probably the doctor who prescribed the medication never bothered to explain. So that's very, very important. But the main problem I think people find is really synchronizing the breathing with the triggering the device. So let me show you that as well. So for example, I emptied my lungs, but I just trigger it halfway, or not at the right time, or too early. So let's try that. Let's try. This is wrong, right? And you can see that that was weird. Something came out of my mouth. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, so like I said, I will just demonstrate it one more time correctly. So really pay attention to this one. So I'll breathe out and then take a slow, deep breath in while synchronizing the triggering of the device. So let's do that. And slowly release. So this is basically how you use Fostair. And this is actually common for many inhalers that look the same, that have a pressurized canister that you put in. Now this is just for the Fostair. So now, what I like and what I don't like about this inhaler. What I don't like, I'll start with that first, is that you need this step where you need to train yourself to synchronize your breathing with triggering the device. That's hard. It was hard for me as well when I was learning about these devices. So if you can imagine someone who is maybe suffering with some arthritis problems, their hands don't grip very well, or they're slightly older, they haven't used one of these before, it might be difficult to learn how to use it. So this is a disadvantage. However, most people have used inhalers like Ventolin, like blue inhalers throughout their lives, especially if they suffered with respiratory disease for a long time. They know how to use those perfectly. So using this one as a controller medication, taking it regularly is no issue because they have perfect technique with the blue inhaler. And if you do have perfect technique with the blue inhaler, this will be second nature. It will be no issue whatsoever to use this one because it's the same technique. And the other good thing about Fostair is that the bronchodilator, the long-acting bronchodilator inside, has a quick onset. So basically, this one can be used, for example, as a reliever as well. And in more recent guidelines, this can be used together with other inhalers as well that have a quick onset. They can be used as reliever medications as well. So this is something that please discuss with your doctor. Don't try to go off my advice only or advice found on the internet. It's important to have a good, honest conversation with your doctor to know exactly how to use your inhaler properly. Please don't forget, with inhalers like Fostair, because they contain a corticosteroid inside, so an anti-inflammatory drug, it's important to try to remove any remaining medication from the back of your throat. So after you finish taking this inhaler, take a little bit of water and just swish it around your mouth, gargle and spit. So that will remove any sort of unnecessary medication that may be left at the back of your throat to prevent oral thrush from developing or voice hoarseness. So this is a very important step which is often overlooked. Hopefully this was helpful. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel. I will make more videos with similar content, how to use different inhalers, what's good, what's bad, and how to actually take them correctly. So I wish you good health and see you in the next videos.